A level check, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1 minute or less until the streaming live weather show starts. I'm going to take a swig of Diet Mountain Dew and I'll be ready to go soon. All right, forgot to add a couple things. I'm going to add a couple quick things here to the show. Da, 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 da. All right, it is still 7:14 on my clock, so I haven't started late yet. I'm adding a couple of items to the show that I forgot to throw in there. Okay, so this would be one of them. This would be another right here. Okay. Hi, everyone. Meteorologist Steve Horstmeyer. It's 7:15. It's time for the First Alert streaming weather show live, or however you want to put it. And I tell you what, we are again talking about some hot and sticky weather heading on into the tri-state. We start off the show this evening with a time lapse that began at 5:02 this morning. Now, if you look at this closely, you'll see a little bank here. Now, that's not cloud cover. That's actually a bank of fog along the Ohio River. Remember, the Ohio River runs northeast to southwest past Cincinnati. And so this is a little that's butting up against some of the hills there around Mount Adams, Walnut Hills and that. So let's go ahead and take a full screen look at a time lapse starting at 5:02 a.m. See a little bit of haze there for a while. It clears up nicely. The cumulus clouds form. They get pretty numerous. You don't see much in the way of shower activity anywhere around, and then the clouds literally just begin to fall apart, and we end up with a beautiful evening, and we no longer have the threat of rain around the tri-state for this evening. There is one shower right now in the Adams County area, and I'll show you that in a minute. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, all will be warm to hot and humid. Small chance of a shower Friday. I've upped the temperature to a high of 90 tomorrow. We're in the upper 80s Saturday, mid 80s on Sunday. Sunday looks like the wettest day of the weekend. So just a very small chance Friday. Chances are you will not see rain. Saturday, chances are you will see it, but it won't last long. And Sunday, I think most of us, if not all of us, get some rain, and some of that rain will last for a couple of hours. So Sunday looks like the least favorable day for outdoor activities. Now, the heat index values at 5 o'clock over the next 7 days look like this. We are talking about 94 and 94 for Friday and Saturday. Sunday, 87, 85 on Monday, back up to 88 on Tuesday, 91 Wednesday, and next week, right now, the early model runs are showing 102 for the heat index on Thursday, and so we are going to be right back into the really hot and sticky stuff, the way it looks, for a good portion of late next week, and I'll explain all that. We've got some ups and downs, both temperature and humidity-wise, and we'll look at all that coming up here in the next couple of minutes. So let's go ahead and take a look at the forecast for Hell is Real. Okay, Hell is Real is that match between the Columbus Crew and FC Cincinnati, and they are looking at a 89 in the pregame hours, 87 at kickoff, 83 for the drive home. Humidity sky high, and that heat index Saturday will be getting close to 95 degrees, or maybe even a little bit warmer there on the west side of downtown Cincinnati. We're also looking at that slight chance of a shower or thunderstorm popping up. And of course, meteorologist Brad Mousehart, who works with us, is the weather provider for FC Cincinnati, and he's going to be there making sure that everybody knows exactly what is going on around TQL Stadium. Okay, I said there was one shower in Adams County. Let's zoom in on that. And you'll see, there it is, just north of West Union. Looks like it just bypassed Winchester. Heading into West Union, or past West Union. Looks like it may be zeroing in on the little community of Pink. So if you're to the east of West Union, if you're around the Pink area, but south of Otway over in the next county, you may see a brief shower. That is the only shower in the Fox 19 Now viewing area at the present time. Low temperatures this morning. Look at this, 60s and low 70s around the tri-state. It's been warm and humid, and whenever you have, one of the things, whenever you have humid air, okay, The reason it stays warmer when it's humid is because water vapor, in other words, humidity, just the gaseous form of water, is a greenhouse gas. Okay, and it is the most prevalent greenhouse gas on Earth. Not the strongest, it's the most prevalent because there's water everywhere. Look how much of the Earth is covered by water surfaces. Okay, so whenever you have a lot of humidity, a lot of the infrared radiation that is re-radiated by the Earth is absorbed by those greenhouse gases and it doesn't escape. Okay, and so it stores it in the atmosphere and the temperatures stay warm. And so that is exactly what happens on these very humid mornings. Temperatures just don't drop much. Even Richmond, Indiana had a low of 66, but everybody else was anywhere from 68 to the low 70s. So definitely it was a muggy morning this morning, and tomorrow is going to be just about the same. High temperatures today so far. Now, the official high temperature will be reported at about 8 o'clock, so we're a little ways from that. But these are the preliminaries so far. 90 in the Middletown area, the only spot that hit 90 based on the preliminary data. 89 at Lunken Airport, 88 at Batavia, Harrison, Falmouth, Madison, Ashland, Hamilton. There's got to be more in there. Oh, Shelbyville. And then CVG, the official high, was 87. Now, some of those may be adjusted upward by a degree or two once the final data comes in around the tri-state. But it was a warm and humid day, and the heat index at times made it up into the middle and upper 90s around the tri-state. Okay, so airport temperatures right now look like this. Right now, meaning these were the observations made at 7 p.m. It's down to 84 in Richmond, 82 in Washington Courthouse and Chillicothe, but still 86 at Harrison, at CVG. Lunken still at 88. Madison, Falmouth, Maysville, Batavia, Lebanon, Springboro, all at 86 degrees. And so it is warm and humid out there. And if we take a look at the heat index values for these temperatures, they look like this. The heat index in a number of spots above 90 or higher. So Batesville, Lunken, Maysville, Ashland all have heat index values, in Portsmouth 90 or higher. Everybody else very close to the 90-degree mark. And so it's just a typically warm and humid evening. You saw the satellite loop. There's just zero chance for rain around the tri-state anymore. Now, there's that shower in Adams County, and that's it. Okay, now what we're going to look at here, we're going to look at a model, and there's a lot going on here. So first of all, as we go through the model on into next week, we're going to look at the temperature, the dew point, and the heat index. These will change as the model goes along. The reddish, kind of ruddy reddish color here, surrounded by that kind of gray, is where the dew points are at 70 degrees or higher. So 70 degrees or higher in most areas. And then, of course, in green is the rainfall. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at that full screen and see what happens as we head through the week. Okay, so for Friday, you see there's none of the green over there, so no rain in the forecast on this model. And I agree with that. I can't rule out a pop-up, but for the most part, you don't have to worry about rain on Friday. High temperature, I think, makes it up to 90. 63, the dew point, the heat index 91. Now, that dew point 63 is not bad. It's much better than it was today. And so tomorrow is going to be hot, but it's not going to be oppressively humid with that dew point at 63. Okay, then when we get into Saturday, notice there's the green around there. Now, for a model of this scale, it doesn't mean every single square inch of this area that I'm outlining here has got rain. That is kind of scattered showers. There'll be places in between showers. So we've got scattered showers around much of the tri-state during the day. The temperature makes it to 92. Now the heat index is 96, and look at all that red area that everybody in the Fox 18 Now viewing area is in the reddish color. So that tells us that the heat index is going to be higher and the humidity will be oppressive on Saturday. Some areas will have a heat index around the 100-degree mark or a bit higher. We go into Sunday, and we still have dew points in the upper 60s. This particular model says it's still going to make it to 90 with the heat index of 93, but I kind of doubt that. I think that's probably talking about what happens before the rain gets here. Because once the rain sets up, and this is light to moderate rainfall over most of the viewing area, I think what we end up with is we end up with temperatures in the 80s and that kind of steamy, not so much a relief from the rain, but just steamier weather. Not as hot, but still on the humid side. Okay, so that takes care of Sunday. Now watch what happens when we go into Monday here. Look at how that red shifts off to the south and east, moves out of the viewing area. We've got a temperature at 5 p.m. of 89, a heat index of 91, dew point 65. So it's still humid, but it's not oppressive like the weekend will be. On Tuesday, dew point 64, so that's still enough humidity. You'll feel it. You'll be aware of it. It'll be sticky, but not oppressive. As we head on into Wednesday, the dew point drops even more, but the high temperature makes it up to about 95 degrees, so we are headed back to hot stuff. On Thursday, we're looking at a high of 92. At this point, 96, the heat index. Many areas on Thursday will top out at over 100 for the heat index. And notice not much rain there until we get into the evening hours, and then the same old story. Thicker cloud cover, more rainfall on Friday. Temperatures around 84 at 1:40 p.m. And then, as we head into Saturday the 19th, and we were talking about this yesterday, if you were watching yesterday and remember, we were talking about some relief coming our way. So Saturday the 19th, the high temperature, or the temperature, this is at 2 p.m., 82, the dew point 59. That is what I call relief. That's comfortable weather for the tri-state. And so we have something to look forward to. Unfortunately, it's not until a week from this coming Saturday, so we've got to go through a lot of stuff before that happens. All right, so this evening we're talking about a sunset time of 9:06, 86 right now. We think it's going to drop to 74 by 11 p.m. And what I want to point out to you is that these icons are automatically generated by the model that we use. The model has not gone through an update cycle yet, so even though, and I should go in and edit them by hand, but then what will happen, I'll edit them by hand, I'll forget about it, and then when there is rain, we won't show it. But we do not have rain in the forecast any longer, so an updated forecast is no rain in the area. There's that one shower that was in Adams County, and that'll be gone before long. So down to 74 and kind of humid by 11 p.m. Overnight, partly cloudy to clear skies, 68 the overnight low, winds are calm. There'll be some patchy fog around the area, but not a great deal of patchy fog. As a matter of fact, just hit and miss stuff, not as widespread as it was this morning. And then for Friday, look for high of 86. That's right at normal. The morning low we have out there is 68, and so that the low tomorrow morning will be 2 degrees warmer than normal. So if you have a low that's warmer than normal by 2 degrees, a high that's cooler than normal, or let's start over. So if you have a low that is 2 degrees warmer than normal at 68 and a high temperature that is exactly normal, that would give you an average temperature of 1 degree warmer than normal for tomorrow. So just about normal during the day on Friday. Okay, Climate Prediction Center is showing some changes here. Take a look at this, and I agree with this because all the model stuff that I've looked at and the forecast I've got for you for the next 14 days agrees with this. June 16th to 20th, they have an area back here in the plains, cool air dipping out of Canada as the jet stream sags southward, and so they'll get some big relief in the summer heat. And we are right on the border here, essentially along Interstate 71. You've got slightly warmer than normal and around normal, so we're going to be near normal as we head toward the 20th of the month. Okay, let's look at the second half of their forecast. It goes on out to the 24th, and you can see that cooler than normal air is kind of wiped out. It's getting smaller, but it's moved into the Fox 19 Now viewing area, so we can expect near to slightly cooler than normal weather for a few days as we head toward the 24th of the month. And of course, this will be updated tomorrow, and you can see that through the 5th of August, we go back to warmer than normal. Precipitation-wise, we're a little bit more greater than normal through the 20th. Through the 24th, we're near to a little bit above normal, so about normal precipitation through the 24th, and that same situation holds through the 5th of August. So the takeaway from these 6 charts that I just showed you is that we don't have a heat wave coming our way yet. We've already had one this year. We had a heat wave and a bad drought last year. So we don't have a heat wave coming our way. Everything that says we're going to enter the month of August with some hot weather, but we're not going to have an extended period of much above normal temperatures. And we're going to have near normal precipitation, so we don't have a big drought building up yet. Now later on in the month of August into September, we might see conditions change so that we begin to get droughty and stay hot. But right now, as we head into August, we have practically normal weather coming our way the way it looks without a drought or anything in evidence. Okay, So let's go ahead then and take a look at some other stuff. What comes up next? Oh, here's the 7-day forecast. All right. Low tonight 68, high tomorrow 90. Slim chance of a storm, and I think most of us say completely dry. The Reds do play tomorrow. It's Fireworks Friday. And if you've never seen Fireworks Friday, it's really kind of cool. Sit in the stadium, they dim the lights, and you end up with a nice fireworks display that's launched out over the Ohio River or from a barge. On Saturday, FC Cincinnati plays. That's hell is real. Okay, 89 for the high temperature with spotty storms in the forecast. In addition to that, the heat index will be pushing the mid-90s. So be aware that if you're going down there as a fan, you're going to be on the hot side. You're going to sweat. Sunday looks like the rain will be more widespread. It still says scattered here, but I think widespread rain is probably a better way to put it now, and I'll update that for later on tonight. The high temperature about 86. Dry on Monday, 85 and a bit less humid. The less humid air continues over the area on Tuesday. And then Wednesday, hot with increasing humidity, back to scattered storms on Thursday. And remember, the high temperature of 90 might be a little bit cooler than what we get. And that's the day that we may see the heat index rise to above 100 once again. Okay, beyond the 7-day forecast. All right. Here we go once again. Now, we've been watching this over the past couple of days, and what you'll notice here is you'll notice that there's a cold front symbol right here, and we still think late in the 16th, 17th, and 18th, a cold front comes into the area, and whenever you have a cold front pushing into this very warm, very humid air, you've got the chance for more widespread rainfall, and you've got the chance for some strong to severe thunderstorms. It's too early to put strong to severe thunderstorms in the forecast here. But we have to keep that in mind as we head toward the 18th of the month, okay? And that would be, as a matter of fact, this would be day 7 and 8, so from now. So 8 days out, and let's see if the Storm Prediction Center has anything to say about it. Usually at day 8, they just say, you know, chances are low or it's unpredictable at this point. So the SPC is saying, all right, let's see here. All I got to do is call it up. For some reason, my iPhone is such an exasperating thing. There we go. Day 4, day 5, day 6, day 7, day 8. Okay, so all the way out to the 18th, they are saying predictability at this point is too low. That means that all the elements just don't seem to be coming together. The models are all over the place. Some are spacing out. So what we're looking at here is we are talking about a cold front coming through. More than likely, we'll see more widespread rainfall than just the normal pop-up stuff we've been getting lately. Okay, we should have some lingering showers on the 19th as the humidity begins to drop. Then the 20th, 21st, and 22nd. Actually, you'll notice the humidity lower here on Saturday too, but the 20th, 21st, and 22nd, we should see fairly nice humidity levels, but late the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th, the humidity will be back as temperatures soar back up into the upper 80s and lower 90s. So again, we do have some relief in that lower humidity for a few days, but it's not going to last. Okay, and there you see that once again, that cold frontal symbol meaning, hey, we could see some widespread rain. It tails off and ends on Saturday, the 19th, and then 20th, 21st, and 22nd, somewhat lower humidity, back to the sticky stuff Wednesday and Thursday, the 23rd and the 24th. So here is the 7-day plus. We are looking at the high temperatures, the low temperatures, and normal lines there. On the high side, the top, you can see that we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 days out of the 14 that hit 90 or a little bit higher. And while we're flirting, oh, excuse me, let me take a quick drink here while you look at that. So on the high side, we are flirting with normal right on out to the 24th. A little bit below, a little bit above, a little bit below, back to a little bit above. On the low side, we only have a couple days where we have 3 days that hit normal or below. That's the 19th, 20th, and 21st. And that's exactly when I had that relief in there. Okay? And then we warm back up to low temperatures in the 70s as we head toward the 24th. So we do have a little bit of relief on the way, not only for a little part of the beginning of next week, but then as we head into the 19th, 20th, and 21st, it looks like some relief also. So That is the 7-day plus. All right, let me see who is got something to say here on Facebook. Will tornado season be over in August? That's Stephen Bryce Campbell. Well, you know, Stephen, even though we talk about tornado season, we talk about the time of year when tornadoes are most likely, and they're most likely because of, excuse me, some weird thing just happened on my Facebook thing, but we're back to what looks like normal. So whenever it's hot and humid, you're in the type of weather that can cause tornadoes. Now, not every humid, hot day is going to have tornadoes, but you have the energy you need. And we have had EF4 tornadoes that are deadly around Thanksgiving. We've had them over the winter, so there's really no such thing as tornado season. But we are not looking at much in the way of severe weather right now, with the exception of those days that I talked about. That would be, let's see, let me look at them. The 18th, 19th, 17th, 18th, and 19th, when that front's coming through, we could very easily see a little bit of strong to severe weather. Okay, I don't know if you're watching here on Facebook, all of a sudden things have started flashing a little bit, which kind of indicates our connectivity may be low. It says I'm still on with live video, so hopefully you're not being interrupted. So, Stephen, the chance of tornadoes will continue through the summer, and it depends. Like when we had that drought weather with the high temperatures, that's not a very likely time for there to be severe storms either. Okay, I've got something called a Stream Deck here, and the Stream Deck is what interfaces with the computer and puts us live on some of our other spots, like our weather app, our news app, our website. And so if you are watching on any of those platforms and you're getting interruptions, something's going on here. I don't know if we're losing connectivity briefly or we've got another technical problem, but the Stream Deck, as we call it, is flashing every once in a while. So I apologize if you're having any problem with that. So, okay, Susan Wally says, good evening. It was so foggy at 5 o'clock this morning on the way to work. Yeah, and I was watching Stefano Di Pietrantonio and Catherine Bodek reported, and there were places where the visibility, especially up that way, dropped to around 0. How is this weekend looking for Oxford? Okay, that's from August Caudill. Doesn't look too good. Saturday looks like scattered showers and thunderstorms, hot and humid. So you might have several hours without rain on Saturday. Saturday might not be that bad of a day, but Sunday looks like the rain's going to be fairly widespread. So it looks like maybe a lot of time will be spent indoors during the day on Sunday. Okay, Brandon Hobson. Good evening, Steve. How are you? I'm fine, Brandon. Hope you are too. Jeff Beechler. And if those of you that watch all the time may recognize the name Jeff Beechler by now. I think his middle name is Snowman. So Jeff Snowman Beechler. Any snow or cold weather coming? Yeah, there is snow or cold weather coming, but it's not till December, Jeff. Susan Wally says wish, so she would wish. Yeah, I'm kind of a snow person. Now, as a TV weatherman, I know that snow can be a huge problem, especially if you have to drive certain routes and that on the way to work and school. But I like snow. I'm a snow kind of person here. So, all right. Let's see. What else do we have here? Let's see. Brandon Hobson. I don't know. The Reds were winning a few minutes ago. They were 6-0 when I walked in here. So I assume they're still winning unless things really went haywire. And they were actually doing a really good job. J.D. Havisto says, how are you doing today? I'm doing great. I'm off again tomorrow, so meteorologist Erin Ashley will be in here for you, and she'll have the latest on everything. So, if you haven't seen Erin before, or if you've only seen her a few times, she's a native of Milford, so she's a local person, and she got her meteorology degree at Ohio University. And we are happy to have her because she does know what she's talking about. And let me tell you, when she and I have tag teamed doing severe weather coverage, she's really nice to work with because she just gets to the point, gets the information, and gets it out to you with a minimum amount of fuss. Harvey Day. Harvey Day Jr. says, Jeff Beachler, give it a rest. And he does say it's working here. Okay, good. So it just might be some internal thing that's flashing, because it's still flashing every once in a while. Okay. Jeff Beachler says, can't do that. Okay. And hey, if you love snow, you'll want to know when it's coming. I understand, Jeff. All right. I don't know what you're talking about there. Yeah, there really is no season for tornadoes. There's just the time of year when they're most likely, and that's the point a couple of people have made. All right. And let's see, Sam McMillan. Sam McMillan. Sam, I wonder if this is the same Sam that used to be in the National Weather Service. Oh, so he says, Sam McMillan says, hi, Steve. When I was trying to cut my lawn, it was really warm. I'm used to that. But like you said, I have to take breaks. I did. The rain really came down hard, and I had to stop. But I finished up today, midday, and I still have to do the other lawn. It takes that takes in 4.5 years. But he enjoys being out there in the outdoors and cutting the lawn. So, Sam, I agree with you. I like being able to work outside when it's quiet, even if it's hot. It's just kind of nice to be out there and taking a deep breath by yourself. Okay, that about does it. All right, so let me do this really quickly. If you joined late and you didn't get to see the 7-day forecast, I will go back and go over the 7-day. All right, and it's coming up here in a few seconds. I'll have to see. All right, so, and I've been talking all this time when I was off screen. I didn't mean to do that, but I didn't see that. So there is a body attached to that voice, okay? So let's go ahead and take a look at the 7-day forecast here. All right, so overnight, 68 the low. That's the same as it was this morning. 90 the high tomorrow. Slim chance of a storm. The Reds do play. It's Fireworks Friday, so you go down to the game. It looks really cool from inside the stadium, but you can get a good view of the fireworks from right out in Smale Riverfront Park, too. 72 and 89 on Saturday. Hell is real. That's the match between the Columbus Crew and FC Cincinnati. That takes place Saturday evening, and it will be hot and sticky. Sunday, I think, rather than scattered storms, we should change it to numerous storms. I think much of Sunday looks wet, and some of the rain could come down heavily. We don't expect severe weather, but we do have basically rain coming our way. And let me double check here. Since I'm talking about that, I want to make sure, see what this, let's see. Yeah, it doesn't look like this, there'll be some thunderstorms, so it doesn't look like the Storm Prediction Center expects any severe weather. Okay, then Sunday, the rain. It dries out on Monday with the humidity dropping off. Tuesday looks less humid, back to humid on Wednesday, and Thursday, scattered storms, hot and humid. Thursday could be the day when a few spots have a heat index over the 100-degree mark once again. We go to beyond the 7-day forecast. Notice, now this is in the summer, you don't get huge temperature swings like you do in the winter, but notice the high temperatures dip to 84. 86 is the normal high now, so we dipped to below normal by a little bit. We have lower humidity for a 3-day stretch, and that's going to give us some really nice weather the 20th, 21st, and 22nd. Now, of course, this is 10, 11, 12 days out, so it's subject to change. And then the heat and humidity return with scattered showers and thunderstorms the 23rd and the 24th. And just so you can get an idea where we are relative to normal, here are the highs and the lows with the normal lines plotted on it. And you can see what we're kind of flirting with normal, as I call it, both on the high side and the low side with variable humidity coming our way. Well, that's it. Thank you for joining me. I'm off tomorrow. Meteorologist Erin Ashley's in. She'll have everything you need to know to cope with the weather for your weekend. And I'll be back on Monday. Enjoy your night. Enjoy your day Friday and your weekend, and try to stay cool.